What's going on, everyone? So today I've got for you a Pokemon or us NU Wi-Fi battle, and this is one against my good friend Vexunn or Danny. This was off my stream that I did the other day, and as you can tell, these teams are not the most serious. I was having fun playing with some fun mons in the stream, a lot of PU stuff. We were doing mixed tier and NU, and I was just bringing goofy things from my box. So my team is Unpheasant, Zebstrika, Onyx, Ursaring, Frogadier, and Lapras, and he's got Armaldo, Samurott, Meganium, Archeops, Mega Camerupt, which is banned. Yes, I know this. I am very well aware. I told him, but he didn't change it because I didn't really care that much, and Corsola. So we definitely got a fun lineup for you, and I will link his Twitter in the description. Losing my words there. So goofy stuff. I've got. I'm going to be leading off with my Unpheasant because it's faster than most things on his team except for Archeops, and Zebstrika can Volt Switch around, and Onyx is the most hilarious set that you don't really get to see the full extent of this Onyx set, but it's pretty damn funny. Now he's going to lead off with Corsola, and I'm going to lead off with bird number 5 because he's from 5th gen and there's a bunch of these nameless birds. So I'm just going to U-turn. The Unpheasant's really great. It has 115 base attack, but it's Flying Stab is shitty. It's got Aerial Ace and Sky Attack, no Brave Bird. Anyways, I'm going to drop into Ursaring because I was expecting the Stealth Rock, but he goes right for the Scald, and he's going to burn me, which is kind of lame because I am, in fact, the Quick Feet set, not Guts, so I was going to activate my Toxic Orb, so now I can't hit him with Close Combat or Crunch, so I'm just forced to go for Facade because Facade ignores the burn and also gets the boost, and it's not going to kill, and he's going to knock me out with the Power Gem as he's going to knock himself out with the Life Orb. So it's a double down right off the bat. Really unfortunate because Ursaring would have been really good to break down his team. Now I'm going to get the drop into my Onyx, which Brock's big, and he's going to go into his Camera Up. Now this is horrible for me because I can't eat Earth Power to save my life, even though I do have Sturdy. And I'm going to go into Lapras. This is AV, and I should be able to outspeed after he Mega Evolves, and I can just eat up any special hit this thing goes for. If he goes for Rock Slide, then it's going to hurt, but I can take a Fire Blast with a little bit of gusto. But he goes for Stockpile, which is kind of weird, honestly, because I'm going to be allowed to speed and go for Hydro Pump, and I do land it, and I was pretty confident. I'm modest max special attack. That's going down, so I take out Mega Camerupt, which is great because that thing is always a threat. So down it goes, and he's going to switch into Meganium. Now this thing's going to be a problem because Meganium's really fat, and I don't have a whole ton to hit it super hard. My best bet was going with Ursaring, but that's dead, which is unfortunate. I was going to drop into Armaldo on the doubles. I switched into my Zebstrika, and I'm just going to Volt Switch out. So we're going to get a little switch initiative and go back into Onyx so we can set up the Stealth Rock, and he's going to predict this beautifully and go for the knockoffs. Now we don't have our Eviolite, and now Onyx is going to die to a lot of things. We do have Rest on this thing, but we're not going to show it off, and he's going to go into Samurott, and I'm going to lay up my Stealth Rock. Now I know he's going to predict me to switch into into something. I figured he probably wouldn't go for the water move since I do have Water Absorb on Lapras. He goes for the HP Fire, assumedly, gets the crit. I'm thinking that's Specs, and I go for the Dragon Tail, so I'm going to phase him out and sends him into this thing, which is unfortunate because he's going to be able to spin away my rocks. And I went for the Stealth Rock, maybe thinking he'd be faster, but no, he's going to Rapid Spin, which is too bad. And I'm going to try and lay up my rocks again, but he does have the Aqua Jet, and he's going to knock me out, so I don't get my rocks up, which is too bad, but it did get some nice damage off on this thing, and Onyx really didn't do a whole lot. Now we're going to go into Lapras. We can Revenge Kill, which is funny because it's a Lapras, and we're just going to go for the Hydro Pump, land it, and down it goes the Armaldo. I'm assuming it's Assault Vested because it took a Volt Switch from Zebstrika pretty well. Now he's going to get the drop into Meganium, and I can't really hit this thing too hard. I have Freeze Dry, not Ice Beam, so I can't 2-hit KO it, which is unfortunate, but I do have Unpheasant, which can hurt it, definitely hurt it with the Aerial Ace, but he does have things that can resist me, and he is going to go for the Leech Seed, which paired with Life Orb is not going to be fun. Now I could have predicted switch and went for the U-turn, but I'm just going to go for the Aerial Ace as he is going to switch into his Archeops. Now that does quite a bit for it being an Aerial Ace that's resisted and all, but he's going to be getting a little bit of that health back with the Leech Seed, so that's not good. I would like to keep this around, but I don't really have a switch in for Archeops, so I have to let my Unpheasant go down as he shows Rock Slide, which, whatever. And more importantly, he shows Life Orb, which is really kind of hilarious for this. Then I'm going to drop into Frogadier, and this is not the normal set. This is a physical Frogadier. It's a funny little set that I made up. And this is just the gimmicks that I love to breed when, like, last year and stuff. So down goes Archeops, and I'm surprised we outsped, so that must have meant he was adamant. Now he's going to go into Samurai. I have no switch-ins for this thing because he could potentially lock himself into a move. I'm assuming he specs. We're going to go for the normal gem-boosted Protein Quick Attack, and that does nothing. That does absolutely nothing at all, and we're going to die. I have the normal gem because we want to power up Acrobatics afterwards, and he does get the crit Scald, which I think mattered. I'm pretty sure I could have lived one Scald, but now we can't. I would have gotten a little damage. Now we're going to go to Marty, and obviously he's going to switch, so we're going to go ahead and Volt Switch on out. Get some switch initiative, but now I believe all I have left is Zebstrika and Lapras, and neither of those things can one-shot Meganium, and if this thing has instant recovery and synthesis, which I definitely believe it will have, it's going to be really hard, borderline impossible to kill it, along with Leech Seed, so that's not good. He does show the Energy Ball, so he doesn't have Giga Drain, which is fine with me. I'm just going to go for the Freeze Dry and see how much it's going to do, and it does pretty good. He had a little damage on him already, so I'm going to say it does about 40%. Definitely a 3-hit KO, but I don't think it's ever going to be able to 2-hit KO this thing, which is too bad. If I had Ice Beam, another story, but Freeze Dry is just better for coverage. We're going to go for the Freeze Dry again, and basically we're hoping for crits and freezes. I really can't do much. Zebstrika has Overheat, but Zebstrika is weak as piss, so it's not going to be able to kill this thing straight up, and I don't think he's going to leave this thing around at low health, especially since he does have Samurott to take an Overheat. So we're going to go ahead and switch into Zebby, and he does show off the Synthesis here, so I know he has it, which means this thing is going to be a bitch to kill. Either my options are to freeze it or crit it with Freeze Dry or crit it with Overheat. Now we're going to go for the Overheat, and it's not going to do nearly enough to kill. Definitely a 2-hit KO, but I can't. He's obviously going to switch in, and I would have gone for the Synthesis personally just to get that drop, but he's going to go for Ancient Power. Does not get the boost fortunately, and he is in range of Overheat, but he's not going to be leaving it in. I could have predicted this and just went for the Volt Switch. I don't really want to take a Grass Knot from this thing if it's specs. So we're going to go for the Overheat, and we get the crit, which is huge because now it's in range of a Life Orb Volt Switch, which that's really awesome. And even though we're at -4 at that range of health, it's super effective in stab and stuff. So it's going to die, and now all he has left is Meganium, but still, it's going to be a bitch to kill this thing, especially since Zebstrika doesn't have Sap Sipper. If I had the Sap Sipper ability, which I do believe it gets, then I'd be able to wall it out and maybe kill it, but I'm not sure. So, and this is where the battle gets kind of stalling and annoying, so I'll speed it up just a little bit for you. So he's going to Synthesis right away, and basically what I have to do is freeze him, crit him, or stall him out of Synthesis PP. I don't know if he's going to have 5 or 8, so we just have to see. I mean, Freeze Dry is doing good amounts, so if we can keep forcing him to go for Synthesis, that's fine, because that's kind of our goal at this point. If we got a freeze, that'd be pretty cool as well, but we're just going to keep on spamming Freeze Dry and look for a switch, if we can get a switch into our Zebstrika at any point where it's in range of Overheat. But we're going to go for the Freeze Dry as he lays out the Leech Seed, and he's definitely in range of another Freeze Dry, but of course after Leech Seed and Leftovers and Synthesis, he's going to be getting all of his health back. So unfortunately, because Lapras has a lot of HP, it's going to be giving him a lot of health from those Leech Seeds. So we're going to go for the Freeze Dry, and we finally get the freeze. So that's really fortunate for me. Now I'm seeing, okay, this is where we have to take the game. We're going to go into Zebstrika, we're going to go for the Overheat, and we're going to attempt to get the kill. So that was really huge. I mean, it's kind of out of range, but if it can just stay frozen for 2 turns, we can 2-hit KO it. But he thaws out right away, so you know what? I'm okay with that because it's really lucky getting the 10% freeze chance. So if he thaws out, that's kind of ridiculous, but oh well. Now we're going to go for the Overheat, last ditch effort. We need a crit, and we don't get it. So now we're going to go down to the Life Orb, and he goes for the Energy Ball, which I found kind of curious because he could have just gone for the Synthesis and been at a good state of health for my Lapras to come in, but now I get to force him to keep on using Synthesis, and my only hope at this point is for him to run out of Synthesis or to freeze him again. So we're going to keep on going for those Freeze Dries, and I know I can live one energy ball because we are AV, and he goes for the energy ball, showing he is out of synthesis. We live on 10, and we're going to go for the freeze dry, and that is going to be the game. So we knocked this thing out. We got kind of lucky. Well, it wasn't really that lucky. He just didn't have full PP because that's how Wi-Fi battles work. You know, Wi-Fi is kind of quirky because if your opponent breeds their stuff, then they're probably not going to have max PP on everything. I certainly don't have max PP on everything on this team. I'm not sure. Like, I think I gen my Zipstrike. Everything else is bred, though. But anyways, that's going to be the game. It was a lot of fun, so make sure to go follow Danny on Twitter. He's a great guy, one of my good friends on the internet. And I did hope that you enjoyed this battle. It was a lot of fun to do. So if you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day, and peace.